This parking lot was full of law enforcement earlier today after calls came in about a man possibly armed with a gun and knives inside the facility. Marchers are just now coming over from City Hall, and while the goal was to honor the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., some marchers say the point of this march was something much greater. I'm here at 4th and Ute, where 6 structures were damaged in the fire last night, and I spoke to a man who says he's now forced to rebuild his whole life after his own home was destroyed. It was like a scene out of an action movie. Bounty hunters chasing fugitives down this street right here behind me, and one of the fugitives turning around and shooting back at the bounty hunters. CSP says a child was ejected from the vehicle and is lucky to be alive after she only sustained minor injuries. Senator Garner spoke to first responders earlier, and even though there's legislation in the works, he said managing the opioid problem ultimately needs to happen at the local level. The case of 2-year-old Samuel Duncan was reopened after Sean O'Byrne was charged with killing his own son Nicholas in late August. You think I should just do that?
Do it.
Can I do that?
You can.
All right, fine. I'll give it a shot.
All right. All right. Here he goes. Yeah!
No KKK, no fascist USA!
Amongst several Confederate flags, a Nazi flag flies at a house in Fruita.
It's concerning that he's displaying that hateful image so close to very young, impressionable children.
The flag's flying just down the street from an elementary school.
I hope there's people that express anger and sadness and pain at what this guy has done.
Protest organizer Joe Gibson hopes this protest has an impact for everyone.
Really, I want a future where my kids can grow up without Nazis and hate being on our streets.
But on the other side of the street, the argument is,
do I believe in the swastika behind me? It's part of history. It's the only opinion I have on it.
Paul Delancey thinks the family has a right to fly the flag.
I'm not even here to support flying the flag or not flying the flag. I'm here to protect the family in the defense of their right to fly the flag.
The reason the flag is flying, that's still up in the air.
My understanding is it was as a joke because his mother is Jewish and he was trying to provoke a reaction out of her.
But other flags were flying high.
You have a flag across the street that is an American flag they turned into a rainbow. According to the U.S. Constitution, that's desecration of a flag.
Everybody should be able to be who they want to be, and if the neighbor wants to fly that flag, that's his prerogative, you know.
For Trey, the Nazi flag is a little much.
Once you get to the point of it being hatred, it's something that, you know, at least someone should say something else about it.
But he admits his neighbor,
they're completely protected by the Constitution,
has his rights.
Would I love for them not to have the flag up? Yes.
As the sun goes down on this Fruita block, the question remains, will the flags still fly?
Shouldn't be something that people are just proud of.
It's been about 2.5 years since a child's name was added to this statue right in front of the Mesa County Courthouse. But after a vigil and a moment of silence, one name was added. Nicholas O'Byrne. A moment of silence.
This doesn't have to happen.
We don't want to be here at all.
For a life taken too early.
I would want to hug him. I mean, things happen and it's unexplainable.
Those that showed up to Nicholas O'Byrne's vigil still ask why.
If we could turn back time and change what happened, then things would be better.
Kim says she wanted to show up not just for Nicholas, but for kids everywhere.
It's heart-touching. It's sad. Our community can step up and speak out against child abuse or neglect if they're suspecting it.
For some, remembering Nicholas meant taking action.
We also want people to be aware of the children around them, whether they're in their neighborhood or friends of their own children.
In hopes the 2-month-old's death won't be in vain.
It's an opportunity for us to not forget that the children in our community are all of our responsibilities.
It doesn't come with an instruction booklet on what to do, so when somebody is struggling, they need to just reach out.
Things from the 4th grade that went up in flame in that house.
Alden Hislop has lived by 4th and Ute for 20 years.
We've later scavenged this.
His house, now gone.
This is all I've got left for 20 years of living and 70 years.
All that's left is in this box.
My birth certificate, my son's birth certificate, Social Security.
The fire took almost everything he had.
My records, my CDs, you know, pictures, my high school annuals.
Almost everything.
And that's all I thought about was getting my kitty.
The fire department was just down the street, and that's a good thing because it could have been much worse.
Because this whole block could have gone. We're talking about downtown Grand Junction.
But the fire still took a big part of Alden's life.
It's a big, big hole. It's just a big, big hole.
And his life will restart with a metal box.
So I have to reconstruct my life from this.
In the old days, you needed a lasso and a horse to round up a wild Mustang.
We're here on the Little Book Cliffs today as part of the helicopter gather for wild horses.
But the Bureau of Land Management decided to try a different way.
There are too many horses right now. We're a bit above the appropriate management level.
The BLM says the problem is the land can't provide enough for the horses.
And with these drought conditions we've seen lately, there's simply not enough food for them to eat.
They say a helicopter is quicker than other ways they've tried.
When we used the bait and water trapping before, only some of the horses were coming to those traps.
With eyes in the sky, they tried to keep the young ones with their mothers, and some came out to watch for themselves.
Helping to watch the range, watch the condition of the horses.
Anna is a part of a group called Friends of the Mustangs.
I've never seen a gather before, that's why I'm out here this morning with a helicopter.
If they had to be moved, she wanted to see the horses treated well.
What I've seen is good. It's quick, it's less stressful.
While she wishes the horses could stay in the area, she admits it's for the best.
There's a limited amount of space, and if unchecked without a lot of natural predators, it's going to explode the population.
About 3:30 this morning, we heard this commotion underneath of the house.
Sue owns Pegasus out in Mac, a pig sanctuary. And early in the morning, she found a visitor.
Somebody just opened the gate and dropped it off.
An abandoned pig let loose.
It evidently stayed hid under the house because it was scared, and we did not see it.
The pig broke a water line under the house and went after another older pig.
Just turned 18 this summer.
What Sue found later was grim.
She was laying on the ground, dead.
And that wasn't the only victim.
Another pig had its ear ripped up and had some blood on it.
Sue says whoever dropped off the abandoned pig mixed it in with the wrong crowd.
Whomever left this pig put it in with our elderly arthritic pigs.
The pigs are separated for a reason.
Its only place that it could go was under the house to get away from everybody else that was ganging up on it.
She's not upset with the pig.
You can't blame the animal for what has happened because it's instinct.
And says the blame lies with the person who dropped it off so callously.
You have to blame the human.
Now, Sue wants justice for herself and the pigs.
At least admit that they did it and deal with it accordingly.